I stopped hearing the hum of the tires long ago. The thumping, irregular rhythm of the cracks in the pavement is my pulse. I am in a hypnotic state after 10 hours on the road today, but there's daylight yet. I promise myself that as soon as I can fill my dusty gas tank, I'll then find a place to pull off and rest. There's no point in exploring new territory in the dark. Reaching for the radio in the dash, I fiddle with it until I find a static crackle with country music, which fades in and out. It is that or the nasal twang of an evangelist trying to save my soul and pick my pocket. Those small town radio stations are one of the joys of this journey. They mark my passage into the mysteries all around me. Is it the journey? The destination? Both? An interesting place to travel toward is always an enticement. But any road not traveled before, be it rough and slow, straight and boring, ugly, dangerous, or amazingly beautiful, is always reason enough on its own to travel ever forward. For me, the journey is indeed the thing. What lays around the next corner, over the next hill and in the next village? Who will I meet? What will I see? What adventure lays ahead? I have driven the last day looking to see the first cactus on my southerly route. Finally, a scattering of yucca trees roll past. There are more hours of scrub brush, then finally I notice cactus all around. How long have I driven without seeing them? In another day I won't notice them at all. Then I'll look for wild horses and feral burros. I seldom travel the main roads. I prefer driving minor routes that interconnect and eventually lead ever onward down into old Mexico and beyond. Some folks brag about how quickly they covered that immense distance, but I wonder at the point of such a hurried trek. Isn't the journey as important as any destination? If you cannot savor the new worlds through which you pass, how will you be able to appreciate anything when you arrive at the place you were going? A person cannot suddenly turn on their sensitivity, especially after tuning it out. As night falls, the loom of light from Las Vegas overpowers the sunset. I hate the place and the drive through it, usually at the end of a long weary day and always in the night. But all roads lead there. I'll sleep better with this hell behind me, and so I plunge on into the shallow glitz and the brassy glare. In the morning, I realize that the Mexican border is now only a day's drive away. I also realize I have been mesmerized into a near express pace and resolve to slow down. There is a raw beauty here which I cannot comprehend. I know I am an outsider, an alien. I would not fare well for long should I wander off into this harsh and deadly desert. There is much I need and want to learn. I think of the original inhabitants of this place and how they survived and even thrived for thousands of years in this their hereditary homeland. Sadly, I see how they have been pushed into the squalor of reservations. I think of their rich culture with a complex social order and religions as convoluted as any white man's. Their engineering feats and their art are as fabulous as any human effort. They understand living in harmony with the natural world and the difference between need and greed. It was all trampled by invaders. Spanish soldiers came here with their battalions of cruel priests. There were bloody wars in this vast wilderness with its rich resources. Borders writhed and changed as new territories were established on someone's paper map. Briefly, the Pony Express crossed this endless place. Then came telegraph and the railroads. Others, naive but intrepid, came on horseback and foot, advancing across the hostile, endless desert. Even today, with paved roads, the vastness is overwhelming. Distances they plotted in a day, I drive in 30 minutes or less, carrying enough water to last for several days without any rationing. For them, the few precious ounces they were able to carry had to last them and their horses until they found more somewhere that was fit to drink. After far too little time in Mexico, I have to begin the long return trip home to Vancouver Island. I love the driving, but I want to continue in a southerly direction. Next time. On one trip my wallet was stolen. It was a long gauntlet homeward, and I learned how vulnerable a single human being in a foreign land is. Something as simple as someone's sleight of hand, a twitch of the steering wheel, a tiny virus can become an overwhelming disaster. But then a person can die on the couch at home while having a nap. The miles and days pass, the air cools. One day there is snow on the side of the road again. How I want to turn back south. Then I find myself crossing 5 miles of bridge over the wide Columbia River, once the Canadian border. I pass Dismal Niche, named by the explorers Lewis and Clark, who traveled here in a simple canoe. Then in a few more hours, I am looking out on the wake of my ferry. Journey's end. Home again, but already the road calls. Destination unknown. And so I will go, head on.